When are your taxes due? My name is Tony Cameron with TLDR Accounting, and we provide tax and accounting services to small business owners, individuals, and therapists in private practice. Taxes, 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 right? It seems like all of a sudden they're due, they were just due, and they're due again. Where is this coming from? So depending on who you are and what you do depends on when your taxes are due. So if you're an individual, you and your potential spouse, both of you work for a company, you're W-2 employees, and that's pretty much your situation, then you only have an individual tax return. Individual taxes are due April 15th. They can be extended to October 15th. Now, we normally recommend that you file your tax return by April 15th, especially if your situation isn't too complicated. It's better to get it done and out of the way and start looking forward instead of still looking back to the prior year all the way up to October of the current year, right? It's kind of like, why would you do that? Now, if you are a small business owner, so say you have an LLC, maybe you have a PLLC, if it's just a single member LLC or PLLC, and you haven't done anything fancy, 9 times out of 10, it's reported on Schedule C, which is part of your individual taxes. So then that is still due April 15th and can be extended to October. If your business, your LLC, your PLLC has grown to the point you made the S Corp election, these are due a little bit earlier than your individual taxes. They're due March 15th. And the reason they are due earlier is because you file your S Corporation tax return. It generates a K-1, and then that K-1 is reported on your personal tax return. So the S Corporation tax return needs to be done before you do your individual tax return. Now, the S Corporation tax return can be extended down to September, but your book should be wrapped up before March, and you should be prepared to file before March. Now, if you have more than one business owner, so you're a partnership, maybe you're a corporation, well, let's stick with a partnership. If you're a partnership, you are still due March 15th. So there's more than one owner, you're a partnership instead of an S corporation, you have the same due dates as an S corporation. If you are a corporation or you have a trust or an estate, those are due April 15th because they don't have anything that then the trust might, but more than likely not, to flow back into your personal return. So you have until April for those. The biggest ones you got to keep an eye on are the S corporations and the partnerships because they're due before April 15th. And everyone's like, oh, taxes aren't due until April. I got plenty of time. Not if you have an S corp or a partnership. You got to remember that those are due earlier so you don't miss the filing deadline. Lastly, non-for-profits. Non-for-profits, they give a little bit of extra time. So those are due in May. In 2021, it's May 17th because the 15th is a Saturday. And so they bump it to the next business day. Now, if we are going to do your taxes, those dates are when they're due, but we need your information earlier than that. So we have time to prepare your tax return, review it, ask all those questions, make sure there isn't anything we can do to wrap things up a little bit better. So if you have a partnership and an S corporation, we require your information by February 12th. So it gives us just over a month to get them done. Now, to be honest, you should have all of this information sooner because your bookkeeping for your partnership and your S corporation should be done in early January. So there shouldn't be too much we're waiting on to get those returns done. Now, for personal returns and any returns due April 15th, we require even more time. So we're asking for your information by March 5th. And that's because individuals are more complex. There's a lot more moving parts. And there's a lot of more back and forth. With the business return, we have your income, we have your expenses. We can start asking you questions in January. But because your forms for your personal tax return, some come in January, some come in February, and then there's even some that can come in March. We want 80 to 90% of your data by March 5th so we can get through it at least once, see if we have any questions, and get those questions back to you. So remember February 12th for S corporations and partnerships, and then March 5th for anything that's due in April. That's key to remember. While we can extend all of the tax returns, we prefer not to extend any returns. We will if you don't have the information. Say you have a K-1 or an investment you're waiting for or a business you're part of, and you're not going to get that information until the summer, that's completely fine. We understand. If we have the information and it's possible to get it, the sooner we get it so we can get your return out, the better, right? Because you don't want this to drag on over the summer. You want to be thinking about the summer, not your taxes. Let's get it done in early spring so it's done, it's wrapped up, and you don't need to worry about it. If you have any questions, let us know. If you still haven't signed up with us for taxes or you're interested in seeing what it would look like, check out our website and schedule an appointment under Let's Chat.